Welcome to MINDSHOCK. This is your host, Bruce McGuire, and we are going over the one and only Andrew Tate and his latest interviews in the past few months. How intelligent is this guy? Does he have access to information that others do not, either by way of some kind of CIA government connections or otherwise? For those that don't know, his father was a master chess player, quite famous, and we'll be going over a little bit of background on this Tate family to see what we can upturn, because something doesn't pass the sniff test. I mean, coincidence theorists might brush it all off, but how does some random guy who gets kicked in the head for a living for 20 years just come out of the woodwork, make millions or billions of dollars, and speak in such an eloquent fashion, in such an entertaining fashion, dropping wisdom bombs, including possibly non-public information, a la Alex Jones. A la Alex Jones. Is Andrew Tate Alex Jones 2.0? I mean, I've long stated that I think Alex Jones might be the greatest thespian in modern history. His antics unrivaled. The entertainment value unrivaled until now. Possibly until now. I've said Alex Jones doesn't even have a close second. Obviously, Steven Seagal notwithstanding. But perhaps now he does. Perhaps this individual here has established himself firmly in the second place possession. And who knows if he will be able to surpass. We will be going over all of this and more in typical MINDSHOCK fashion, with logic and reason at the forefront, unlike anything else out there in the mainstream or otherwise. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. Patreon to give priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You can also be a guest on the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind. Leave them in the comment section, or if you're with us here live, drop them in the live chat. I will try to get to all of them, and you could also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. Welcome everyone. Sarah Catherine, the fallen slaves us all. Who's here to watch the next in line, perhaps, in the lineage of conspiracy theorists? We have the OG himself, Serge Monast, which nobody talks about. Serge Monast, possibly the originator of all of these theories and exposing them, from the trans agenda to Project Bluebeam. Then we had Bill Cooper, the one and only Bill Cooper. And, of course, David Icke, and then Alex Jones. Quite a few others in the periphery, but none as influential as the pantheon I just listed. And is Andrew Tate next in line? That is what we will be dissecting here. So, let's go through some basic history here. When I say doesn't pass the sniff test, there's something inorganic about all the Tates. Now, I don't know what this means. I'm not claiming to have an answer as to how or why. Some may allege some kind of MK Ultra facilitation of all of this. But let's start with this here. This is an article. This is an article going all the way back to the release of Searching for Bobby Fischer. And this is none other than a childhood Andrew Tate. So this article is from 1993. And Emory Andrew Tate III here was 6 years old. Some interesting notes here. So, Emery A. Tate Jr., state's top-ranked chess player, started playing the game at age 3. Now his son, Emery III, who goes by Andrew, is a whiz at 6. Here it says, I don't think a kid his age should spend so much time playing chess. As a parent, I'd like to see him become a top-level player, but I realize there's so much more to life than just chess. He learned how to swim this summer, and he plays with his friends and stuff like that. Andrew, however, says he plays because he's bored all the time. Most of the time I'm bored, and that's the only thing I want to do most. He got very upset because he thought he was failing, Tate said. Dad, I'm playing bad, Andrew said, about to cry. Tate immediately withdrew him from the tournament, much to the child's relief. I saved him from crying in front of all those people, Tate said. It's like any sport, there's a lot of pressure in it. It all depends on how the parent deals with it. So this is kind of interesting because his father here is not this staunch authoritarian like Tate has purported before, or at least he wasn't when this kid was 6. Obviously, we don't know what happened with the relationship after the fact. But I think it's kind of interesting that he's already in the public eye, and his father was actually really famous in the chess world. Like, his father was incredibly famous in the chess world. He was kind of known as the, kind of like the Black Godfather of chess. Spreading chess into black communities, etc. And one of the top-ranked players in the world. Now, he was also in the Air Force and apparently involved... See, I don't know if he was directly involved in the CIA. There's a lot of shadiness there. He's Air Force, and apparently his records are blacked out for Air Force operations. So that doesn't automatically mean CIA. But he was apparently involved in some kind of top-secret Air Force projects. Now, the Air Force, obviously linked to MK Ultra, especially upper-level Air Force. So, yeah, I mean, this is definitely curious. This is definitely really curious. So one of Emery Tate's leading abilities, was linguistics. So he spoke several languages, which is curious. So apparently highly intelligent and able to learn languages very quickly. There's a quote from Andrew Tate stating, I never saw him study chess books ever. He also hated chess computers and never used them. He just sat down and played. What also is kind of interesting is within the chess world, he was known as a pioneer and a revolutionary. Some of his openings were pretty radical, as well as sacrificing many pieces right off the bat early in the game, those aren't common tactics. So he surprised a lot of people with these innovative, revolutionary tactics. Now, what kind of brain would function that way? How much of it is genetic? Here's another interesting factoid here. And he died October 17, 2015, aged 56. And we'll get into that a little bit as well. But so here's some curiosities. So Emery Tate, E.T., that was his nickname. Fellow air, and he was the U.S. Armed Forces chess champion 5 times. He was also inducted into the Indiana State Chess Hall of Fame in 2005. He won the Alabama State Championships 2010. So, yeah, I mean, not the greatest of all time by any stretch, but yeah, a powerhouse. So, fellow Air Force veteran and 2003 U.S. Armed Forces chess champion Leroy Hill said, quote, all the players had street names. Emery's was extraterrestrial because we thought his play was out of this world. So this linguistic capability, and so what is curious is I haven't seen any actual public record or any government record of Emery Tate in the CIA. Not that there would be if he was. A lot of coincidence. There's bootlicker goofs. They hallucinate that. Oh, there's no records. Well, why would there be if it was all top secret at a certain level? Now, if it wasn't top secret and it was relatively pedestrian, then maybe there would be. But anyway, here's a clip of Andrew talking about his father and just more linguistic
father
curiosity, for lack of a better word here.
When he died, someone messaged me who was in, because my father was in the CIA. He held the record of the CIA record for the fastest assimilation of a foreign language. My father learned Russian within 2.5 weeks from zero. Like, really? He would just read a book. He just read the dictionary. I didn't have what he had. Like, he was complete. He remembered every chess game he'd ever played. So you could be sitting there and he'd say, oh, I played him in 1982, and he'd just go through the whole game.
So, again, I'm not sure how true that is. But, I mean, clearly his father was a savant in various capacities. And maybe Andrew Tate is in a way as well. We'll be examining all of that. But, I mean, there's just so many curiosities here. Because obviously the CIA would want to recruit guys in the Air Force who are super geniuses at chess or linguistics or whatever. So he would definitely, I mean, clearly his father is a prime target for CIA recruitment. Now, whether it happened or not, that's another matter. But clearly he's a prime target. We're going to get to some of his more recent interviews, which are on a whole nother level from the previous ones. If you've been listening, I went over his Candace Owens interview, which I thought was one of his best at that point, and I went over his so-called interview with that goofy BBC reporter. So, what is welcome B Carter Music and Jeff Hunt. So, if the mainstream media, legacy media, was panicking at the rise of his influence online. Now, how much of this is coordinated by both sides? I don't know, but there's strange questions here that need to be asked. And this chess prodigy switching over to kickboxing. Now, I don't think he's taken that much damage. He actually has a pretty good record. And what's crazy, like all the goofs cope spiraling after his loss in boxing. What was that? That was his first boxing fight ever. After how long out of competition? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, in MMA, he's 1-0 in pro MMA. And he's 3-2 in amateur MMA record. He's 3-2, and he also beat a guy who fought in the UFC, Luke Bernard. So, these aren't complete scrubs that are nobodies. And MMA is not his main sport. The only professional boxing fight he ever had was against Chase Damore, where he survived to a decision after however many years of ring rust. So it's kind of crazy that the goofs are kind of saying that this is like some kind of massive failure. Like if he got knocked out in the first round, yeah, sure. But he didn't. And he's also, I mean, what is he, a middleweight? And so he fought for the heavyweight. How heavy is Chase Damore? Wow, so he's 6'3". Is there a weight here? I mean, obviously Chase Damore is no world beater or anything of that nature. But he's not a complete scrub either. I mean, what, he's only lost one fight? What, 2 fights? Yeah, I mean, he's got a winning record by a lot. So that's weird. His weight is listed at approximately 200 pounds for heavyweight, which is weird. He was 245 as a football lineman. So anyway, whatever. I mean, Andrew Tate moving up in weight after many years off in a brand new sport to him. I mean, kickboxers aren't known for their elite boxing skills, although Krokop did do pretty well, but yeah, so it's kind of weird, like all the goofs getting triggered over him losing a decision in a sport that he was new to. Volume on the low side, hold on. Let's get it bumped. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Volume check. Okay, that should be better, I think. Sammer Quinn, is that better? On the volume. Okay. So yeah, the goof's getting triggered over his recent... Wow, that is weird. The volume is just... Yeah, it's getting funky. Okay, alright. So... Okay, I think it should be good. So let's look at his interview here. Actually, one more thing I wanted to go over. The people kind of point to the whole webcam business. From his own mouth, he kind of said his brother was mostly involved with that, and he was doing the casino for mobsters. And that's how he made his money. I'm not saying that's better or worse, but... Let's look at this interview here on Jack Neal. This is possibly one of the most important conspiratorial interviews in recent history. Just the amount of conspiracy history that Tate's going to unleash here is pretty incredible. Let's break it down.
Yes. Perfect. Andrew Tate, welcome back to the Jack Neal podcast.
Yeah, I think last time was Romania. I was locked up there, didn't have any prospect of getting free, and now here I am in a movie studio in LA. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, welcome to Hollywood. But yeah, we'll just get right into it. There was a recent clip of you and a few other influencers at a nightclub with Ye's song playing in the background. This quickly became an international incident.
You know what? I can't take a piss without getting an international incident. Do you have any idea the level of stress and heat that's on your head when you are constantly going through life thinking, if I stop at this donut store and buy a donut, it's going to end up an international incident? Yeah, I didn't expect that. Clav and Nick, who I'd never met before, they wanted to stream, so we started streaming, and then they talked about it being Nick's first day in the club. I thought I'd have to go and check it out, and of course, it was an international incident, of course.
Do you believe what happened to you was unfair?
Look, I've never said anything positive about Israel in my life ever. But I think this whole anti-Semitic movement online, if we're going to actually truthfully address it as professionals, has it gotten out of control? I'm not sure. If I walk down the street and someone comes up to me and says, hey, Andrew, hey, I'm a huge fan. Hi, I'm from Israel. I'm going to say, okay, can I have a picture? Sure. Am I supposed to punch them in the face? Am I supposed to pull out a knife and stab them?
It seems like that's what some people want you to do.
Well, that's what people want me to do, right? If someone comes up to me and says, hey, Israel's government is justified in their genocide, I'm going to say, no, they're not. I think their genocide is completely disgusting. I disagree with nearly everything the Israeli government does. I would argue that the ADL has far too much control over American politics. I would argue there is certainly something strange with the amount of Jewish power that exists in the West. And also the powerful Jews who I meet and who I know brag about that. They're not ashamed of that. They actually say, you know, if you say to a Jew as a non-Jewish person, you control everything, they say you're anti-Semitic. But when you sit with them in private, they're like, we control everything. And they think it's funny. So all of that, I've been very clear on my positions, but people seem to believe I should just, I don't know, walk around and randomly attack any man who comes up to me who hints that he might have visited Israel.
Fair use, obviously. Here, nothing but fair use. Now, so what's curious here, right off the bat here, he's talking about things that the powers that be do not want talked about. And that is curious, unless some people think this is all some kind of 5D chess game, and they're setting up individuals to speak against the establishment as a useful idiot in order to bring up awareness of everything going on, in order to usher in martial law, new world order, etc. They want to destabilize, and that's why they have these players, either knowingly or unknowingly, shills, what have you, whatever you want to call them, MK Ultra or not, that they're so-called allowed to speak these truths without being taken out. Now, where it gets really dicey is, like, how do you violate free will? So, are there rules on this so-called chessboard of the universe that even the Illuminati have to follow? And they cannot violate free will, which is why there's all this revelation of the method, all of these Freemason rituals and subconscious manipulation in order so that the will is not violated. And Andrew Tate's going to get into some really interesting ideas regarding this as well.
Some point. And I think the reason we have this phenomenon is people are trying to escape the matrix, right? People are trying to escape their enslavement and understand how the world works. But the pendulum swings both ways. People are waking up and saying, I don't understand why my life is shit. And then they're researching online and going, my life is shit because of the Jews. But then they're getting enslaved in a different trap at the other side, because then they're saying, oh, so I can't win and everything in life is permanently shit because of the Jews. The Jews don't stop you going to the gym. If you have skinny arms, the Jews didn't do it. But there are people on the internet who will argue, yes, they did, because Jews have convinced us to be demoralized, and my dog bit me because a Jew told it to, and it goes so far the other way that they haven't escaped any prison. They're back in a new prison, which is blaming the Jews for everything. So there's certainly some valid arguments, and I've been very clear on what those arguments are. But I have to be very honest with this anti-Semitic crap. I have to be very honest. And maybe Nick Fuentes and Dan Bilzerian and people who are more extreme than me will disagree. I'm not sure. But I believe Dan Bilzerian had Jewish business partners. I don't know what Nick would do. But if I came to film a movie in Hollywood, in a movie studio, and I got paid $100 million and I'm making a movie.
It's really curious at just how good of a speaker this guy is. Is it all just from some kind of genetic linguistics? Some inherited traits of genetic linguistics? But this guy who's been kicked in the head for 20 years is more of an eloquent speaker than any politician. I mean, who thinks Obama's like soy antics on the microphone with his pauses and weird inflections is actually good linguistics? I mean, obviously everything he's talking about was just pure demagogue nonsense propaganda. But he did it in such a feminine way, Obama. And people thought he was a good speaker. Like, what? Like, the best way to describe it, in my opinion, would be cringe. Like, Obama's pauses, intonations, and cadence in his speaking is some of the most cringe public speaking I've ever seen. And yet, he's heralded as some great speaker. I mean, George Bush was pretty bad, too. Either intentional or not. Yet this random kickboxer who got kicked in the head for 20 years is a better speaker than any politician in the world. Isn't that kind of weird? Not to mention more entertaining.
And halfway through, I find out that one of the 300 people who work for the film crew is Jewish. Am I supposed to stop making the movie? Because according to the anti-Semitics on the internet, I should instantly do a Hitler salute and walk off and give all the money back. And it's very interesting these people pretend to have these views because none of these people have suffered for their views. They don't even have real accounts. They don't even have their face or their name on their account. They haven't been to jail. They haven't been locked in their house. They haven't had death threats. They haven't had the government try and take their children from them. They haven't had all of their money stolen. They haven't had anything bad happen to them, but they expect you as a famous person to martyr yourself. And I guess the real question is, do they actually genuinely expect that, or do they just want that? When they say, Andrew, you should have doubled down, you should have done a Hitler salute. When they asked, you should have gone up to the Miami mayor and said, Hail Hitler, and, I'm going to kill every Jew I see. That's what you should have done, Andrew, or you sold out. They don't expect that. They want it because it's entertaining. We live in a world now where everyone is so bored and so numb, and watching a famous, important A-list celebrity like myself martyr himself. For the same reason I'd have a huge stream if I set myself on fire. Hi, guys. Decided to commit suicide today. I'm going to set myself on fire. I'd break the records. So they want me to go out and commit suicide. And I have to be honest, although I think the ADL have too much influence, although I disagree with everything the Israeli government have done, although I think the genocide in Palestine was one of the most disgusting things we've ever seen, if I was filming a movie with 300 film crew and one of them was Jewish, no, I wouldn't quit the movie. If a man comes up to me and shows me respect and he's Jewish, I'm not going to punch him in the face. I'm going to treat him with respect because he shows me respect. Perhaps I'm not anti-Semitic enough for the internet anymore. I don't know. But I'm not going to change and bend on my views because there's a whole bunch of people who think I should.
I mean, another word that just comes to mind in describing this man's understanding of basic psychology and the psychology of the minds of the peasants, of both NPCs, critical thinkers alike, is uncanny. I mean, his understanding appears to be uncanny. How did he get it? Why did he get it? Why is he still alive and speaking it?
And I'd like to actually talk to Nick about this and understand his point of view on this. I wonder what he would do in those scenarios. But I'm a big person, and I'm not an internet streaming clown. I'm a genuine A-list celebrity. In fact, I've been told multiple times by many different people that I am literally the most famous man in the world. I've been told that. I was the most Googled man in the world, and after being locked in my house for 3 years, I thought, everyone's over Andrew Tate. Maybe it's all over. No one cares. I can't go anywhere. If I walk down the street, I am flooded in every city on the planet, everywhere I go. Today I met Chinese Trump. You've seen Chinese Trump?
No.
No, he's a Chinese guy who does Trump impressions. I just met him coincidentally here in LA. And he says, you have no idea how famous you are in China. I was like, in China? He goes, no Westerners are famous in China, but you are. It's like, am I? I met Steven Seagal's son, who told me that his school project, or the school project of all the young men in his school, was about me. And he goes to school in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia.
Shout out to the great one, the one and only, Steven Seagal. Yes, this is fair use and nothing but fair use. Fair use all the time.
Like, I can't go anywhere. So I am literally one of the most famous people on the planet. I'm not some nobody streamer who can do these silly things. I have very important things going on. I make hundreds of millions of dollars. I have to work with all sorts of people. And some of them are Jewish. That's fine. They know my point of view on Israel. They know my point of view on the genocide. They know my point of view on the ADL. But business is business, and they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. You have your point of view, I have my point of view. We're all intelligent adults. We're rational. I disagree with them on loads. They disagree with me on loads. We get things done. If I start walking around attacking Jewish people, how the fuck does that work? That's not even rational. Someone said to me, they said, Andrew, Dubai, the UAE, allows Jews into the country, and they have an embassy for Israel. So you can either be the UAE and get business done while publicly opposing the Israeli government and get things done and be a rational actor, or you can be some extreme country, which makes you a poor little shithole. And I think these streamers just have nothing to lose. They don't understand how the world works. They're not actually famous like I am. They haven't been around enough or been offered anything of significance to truly understand how you must negotiate life as a man. And they've not suffered for their views. If these people online screaming "Hail Hitler" every 5 seconds and doing the Hitler salute and saying we need to gas all the Jews, if any of them mattered, they wouldn't be online anymore.
But do you not think Nick Fuentes has suffered for his views?
Absolutely he has. Nick is someone who has suffered, which is why I respect Nick, which is why Nick, after the outrage of this little clip, said, I totally understand Andrew's position, because Nick is a smart person. But then there were some other streamers who were pretending that what I did was somehow wrong. But that's because they're nobodies. Nobodies, of course, have a view. But Nick seems to understand me quite well, and he's the most famous anti-Semite of all. And even he is saying, I understand Andrew's position. And he has suffered for his views, of course. But even Nick is not that extreme. Nick tells people on his show, don't go around screaming all the Jews. Don't go around saying Hitler. Don't let everyone know at your university you're an anti-Semite. That's not intelligent. That's not smart. Whereas other streamers are saying, no, you need to tell them all to fuck off all the time. You can't win that way. When you're actually a really important person in a culture war, and I am one of them, you win the culture war by pointing everyone in the correct direction and allowing momentum to do the rest.
Just his breakdown of all of these factors. Just everything from history to psychology. I mean, it's I'm not easily impressed, and I don't call a lot of people smart. But this guy might be a genius. He just seems to know too much, and he's too eloquent in presenting it. And not just that, but also just absolutely hilarious. Now, whether he's saying something straight like here, it's still funny. The way what he says and how he chooses to say it, it's kind of funny. And this is definitely someone extremely skilled with linguistics and psychology. So was he MK Ultra? Is that how he is this good?
It is my job as the most followed man on the planet to 1% point in a direction. The Matrix is controlling your life. And I get people to think about it, and then they research, and then they work it out themselves. If I don't allow people to work it out themselves, and instead I explain it all, I get shot in the head. Then I can't help anybody. To win the war, it's my job to point people in the right direction and let them do the rest. Now, some of those people who are pointed in the right direction are so silly and so stupid and so treacherous, they will now turn around and yell at me, hey, you showed me the beginning, but you didn't show me the end. You're a traitor. You're a sellout. I showed you the beginning. Do you understand? If I show you all of it, I die and I can't show anyone else the beginning. People have died for far less.
Has anyone else put it quite this way? See, even Alex Jones. Look, Alex Jones might be the greatest thespian. His thespianistic abilities are unrivaled. But his eloquence, I don't know if we could call him the most eloquent speaker of all time. I mean, Tate is basically running a 20-year crash course in conspiracy theory and the way the world really works in 20 minutes.
I know at the bottom and the top. We just saw Charlie Kirk eat a fucking bullet. They tried to put a bullet in Trump. You think they're not going to try and put a bullet in me? You think they're not already considering it or planning it or thinking about it currently as we sit here right now? So for anyone who sits and believes I should martyr myself and I should just go as extreme as possible and anything to not sell out as they sit there as a nobody, they don't even understand the war. I am smart enough, and I always have been smart enough to know when somebody who is risking everything to give me a hint is doing something they don't have to do. And I understood they were on the right side of the fight because I could just shut the fuck up and say nothing at all.
And so many people have.
And most people have. 99.9% of people have. Like, honestly, I get more attention on the street and I'm more well known than nearly every single movie star. It's the Grammys now. You get the list of everyone at the Grammys. Brad Pitt, George Clooney, cool. The rest of them, I don't know who the fuck they are. I don't know who these celebrities are.
I mean, is it just me, or is this guy hilarious? Is this guy funnier than any comedian out there? Other than Jones.
They say, hey, this celebrity said this, or this celebrity's dating this person. I don't know who these people are. There are too many movies. There are too many Netflix shows. Everyone's in a fucking movie. No one even knows. None of these people even matter. Why are they in movies and I'm not? Because they shut the fuck up. Why am I not the face of a fragrance or a clothing brand? I'm the right demographic. All the young boys love me. There'll be billions of generated dollars. Why? Because I won't shut the fuck up. So I'm turning away billions of dollars, and some dipshit's going to sit there and go, you sold out, bro. It's like, you know, the sad thing about it, truthfully, Jack, when that happens, you start to understand why everyone sells out. You start to sit there and go, what the fuck am I fighting for? Why am I trying to help these clowns? I show them the beginning. I was the one who woke the world up only 2 years ago. It was me. I went to jail for it. I suffered for it. Me, alone, by myself. I did it. And
you know, it is kind of hard to argue once you look at all the Google metrics. It's kind of hard to argue. I mean, Andrew Tate is kind of like the second coming of Alex Jones. What Alex Jones did in the late 90s, early 2000s, that's kind of what Andrew Tate is doing now. Now, yeah, there's a whole bunch of gender dynamics that he delves into, and possibly rightfully so. I think I can safely say this man is smarter than me, or at least he's been fed a lot of information that is not readily available, and he's had it collated in a fashion for easy and quick digestion, whereas, you know, all us peasants, we have to go through all these millions of documents and breadcrumbs online. It appears that someone has just flat out collated all of this public and non-public information for him. That's just what it appears like. CIA asset or not.
now they're saying, you showed me the beginning but not the end because you're a traitor.
You can't show the end.
I can't show the end. Not that I don't know the end. I can't show the end. I know so much more than I can say. But if I say it, we're going to lose. Because unless I keep showing people the beginning, the war's over. And they're going to put a bullet in me. So it makes me sit and calculate all the money I've turned down. All the beautiful red carpet events, all the pussy I could have fucked, all the fun I could have had. Could have been on fucking Jeff Bezos's fucking yacht. Could have done all these things. I've done none of it because I wanted to point people in the right direction. And what thanks do I get? What thanks do I get when I finally fly to America after a year and I meet up with a couple guys and they play a silly song? And instead of saying, yeah, gas all the Jews, I sit and say, look, I understand why the song's offended some people. I didn't play it. I didn't actually play the song. Don't you think everyone panicking about this song just proves the Jews have power? You're a sellout. It makes you think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell out. You know what would teach the world a lesson, Jack? If I sold out. If tomorrow I took a $500 million check and went and made Hollywood movies and just deleted Twitter and then let all these poor people watch my movies and pay me more money while having their opinions on me. And I can wear Versace. I can fuck hoes and spray champagne. I'll show you sellout. Continue, world. And I'll show you sellout. I was the first and original freedom fighter. And thinking these stupid dipshit nobody streamers.
He should have clarified that of the newer generation guys, maybe. Obviously not, of the OG. He's obviously not an OG. He might proclaim himself to be a top G, but he's not an OG.
Who aren't A-list famous, who no one gives a fuck about them, who just sit on a stream and run their mouths and have to be controversial to even get any views. Thinking they are moving the needle is the biggest mistake you can make, because they're not moving any fucking needles. I've had conversations in private rooms, off camera, that have moved the needle more than these clowns will ever move in their fucking lives.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And I'm honestly, to prove your point further, I'm a little surprised at some of the things you've said thus far, in terms of how much risk I know it puts you at. In doing this podcast, like, I'll transparently admit that I'm, like, a lot of people don't share the full truth because I do full research,
Yep.
And you're one of the few people who does, at least gives hints, Our last episode, I don't know if you recall this, but I asked you if you knew who was really in power, would you say it? And you kind of paused a bit, but Tristan said it, And that was the first time I'd ever heard anything about this certain thing going on.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you, all the hate I'm seeing is people are saying you sold Sneeko out, saying that Sneeko was the person who played the song in the club. And I thought that was a little...
For people who don't know, the international incident they're referring to is the Kanye song about a certain mustache man from Germany. And apparently these streamers went to a club and the song got played and then all these goofs flipped out. Like, they don't care about all of the murder and assault promoted in almost every rap song. They don't care about that. They don't care about references to any of the genocides in history except this one. Curious.
Out of character for you, but with everything you've just said, having been through a lot, it's just kind of like, let me avoid another tragedy.
Yeah, the problem with talking about him is he likes it because he needs it for his stream. So he's going to take this clip and he's going to sit on his stream to his few viewers and he's going to make a big deal of it. First things first, I don't think I sold him out, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, he hasn't been my friend for a very long time. He's not my boy. He's not like Tristan. I hung out with him years ago when he was emulating me, trying to be me, desperately. I made his career by speaking to him. Otherwise, he would have stayed a nobody forever. Instead of showing me thanks for that, he started, every time I wouldn't reply to his texts, go on stream and cry in some way and complain about me. It was very bitchy. It was very weird. Like, he'd beg to be my friend one side and then do a stream insulting me the next side. Back and forth, anything for views. Very strange. And I'm not the only person he did it to. And then I said to Tristan, anyone who names themselves Sneeko, like, you're naming yourself Sneaky. Imagine I was saying, hey, my name's Rat.
Oh, man, this guy's funny.
It's a fucking shit name, and it's weird. So I was like, I'm not going to talk to him anymore. So I didn't talk to him for 4 long years. I'm going to avoid this guy because he's just weird. And then I get to Miami, I speak to Clav, and Clav is with Nick Fuentes, and he begs for Sneeko to come. And I said, Sneeko's weird.
begs and begs and begs. Here we are. Who's on the internet insulting me? Sneaky. Sneaky's now on the internet with an opinion. Luckily, he doesn't matter. Sneaky doesn't matter. When this controversy's over, he's going to have to go back to making videos no one watches and trying to find some other controversy. He's not in business. He's not making any money. He's not close to the Trump family. He's not moving politics. He's not in, no Hollywood actor wants him. He isn't connected to the royal family in Dubai. He isn't doing anything. He's not in a position where if he says the wrong thing, the royal family in Dubai will say, sorry, you can't have your political protection and your golden visa. Sorry, we can't give you the Emirati passport anymore. Like he's at such a low level. He doesn't even contemplate the world above him. He doesn't understand why some people can't do what he's doing because he doesn't matter. So I don't think I sold him out. I was told he played the song because Justin and I were playing country music. And then Justin's phone got taken off him and the song was put on. Everyone said, Sneeko put it on. So when I went there, I said, well, I didn't put on the song. Sneeko put it on. I mean, there's no point in trying to hide who put on the song. It's on fucking camera who put on the song. If it wasn't him who put on the song, then I was incorrectly informed. As if I give a fuck anyway. It doesn't matter who put on the song because it wasn't me, right? Why did I not play the song? Truthfully, it didn't cross my mind. I guess I didn't sit there thinking, I need to entertain the public. Let me do something outlandish. It just didn't cross my mind to do something like that. But one of the people played the song and it wasn't me. I believed and I was told it was Sneeko. I'm still pretty sure it is Sneeko, unless you're about to say we've checked the footage and it's someone else. I still think it's Sneeko. So I said, Sneeko played the song. Invite Sneeko on here to defend himself. I don't think I'm selling him out. He's a full-grown man. He's a big guy. Big tough Sneeko has so much to say about me. Go defend yourself on the podcast. But he doesn't want to defend himself. He wants me to defend him.
Welcome, the art of the personal story. Saying, I can't help it, I like Andrew Tate. I mean, at this point, I'm about to declare him the smartest man alive. Is he the smartest man in the world? Now, that statement in and of itself is going to lead to another inquiry of how is it possible that a guy who's got kicked in the head for 20 years, it has this much information naturally and is able to elucidate it so eloquently in a fashion no politician is even able to approach? I mean, something is off here. Something is absolutely off here.
For him, and me to risk everything for him, and me to deal with all the political problems from different administrations around the world, and for me to go to a court in England and be facing hate speech charges for 5 years in jail for him. And if I go jail, will he write to me? No. He'll go on stream and go, Andrew's in jail. Because he...
I mean, his impressions are not quite as good as Alex Jones. He's not quite Alex Jones level on the thespianism, but he's pretty close.
Sits there in front of me like a little puppy dog, begging me for advice. And then the second he's on a stream, he tries to make fun of me. Because his name's Sneaky. So I didn't want to see him. Clav begged me. And you know what, Jack? It's the story of my life. I'm too nice. I was like, fucking, he's a fucking retard. Fine. Here we are. So
yeah, I think from my assessment, I've had all these guys on the podcast except for Sneeko. And
he'll come here and say nice podcast. Then he'll do a stream saying it was a shit podcast. The guy's a weirdo. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
he's
sure.
Fucking weird, bro.
Going back to what he said about the movies, though, like even the most devout Andrew Tate haters, are they really going to deny that he would be a bigger action star than like all these like soy goofs like Tom Holland and what's his face, Ryan Reynolds? Like the soy goofery is just off the charts in Hollywood. Like who thinks a guy who's got way more followers than all these like, you know, poor excuses for action stars in Hollywood wouldn't make a ton of money? I've actually gone over like 80s and 90s, the collapse of the civilization, and Hollywood specifically, the fall of Hollywood. There's no one really left. I mean, you got Jason Statham hanging on by a thread. You got goofs like The Rock, you know, who's only popular because of pro wrestling anyway. And then probably Jason Momoa was the last hope. I mean, the Wrecking Crew was decent, but he didn't really capitalize it. I mean, Andrew Tate would break the action film world. I mean, he's a real kickboxer. Like, the legitimacy's there for fight scenes. I mean, this guy's legit. Not the best of all time, obviously, but pretty legit. Who thinks that this guy, if he actually did go Hollywood, that he might single-handedly resurrect the dying genre?
I will say I think Clav has enough respect for you that I do not think it would be him, because I know Clav very personally. Yeah. And then everyone else, it wouldn't make any sense. Yeah. Nick as well. So it checks out. But did you have a conversation with Ye about what happened at the club in Miami?
I don't think he's happy about it, from what I've heard. I'm not going to say I spoke to him directly. Even if I did speak to him directly, I would not say that I spoke to him directly, read between the lines, but he wouldn't be happy about that. Isn't it interesting that people who are truly at the top of A-list fame, like Kanye, eventually realize that they're going to get in a new form? They're not going to be able to enjoy oxygen for much longer if they continue down the path they're on. Myself, Kanye, etc. And if you're truly smart, let's do a thought experiment. If I was a nobody account or a nobody on the internet or a retard called Sneaky, and it was my intention to convince everybody in the world that there was a particular group of people that had nearly unlimited power in Western society, surely I'd be very thankful for the A-list celebrities, which are 10,000 times larger than me, who go to bat and point everyone in the right direction, and then publicly say, I can't do this anymore for unknown reasons. Aren't we helping you? Aren't we showing that your theory is correct? Oh, no. I guess what we should have done is not mention anything at all and be rich and famous, more rich and famous than we currently are, or just go to the end where we get shot in the head.
No, I cannot overstate. He's giving away the goose here. He's giving away the game. I've never seen anybody do this. In over 30 years, well, maybe I'm dating myself here. Maybe people are going to start guessing my age. Over 30 years. I mean, once I've mentioned this before, I was on the old BBS boards on the interwebs with conspiracies and such. I've never seen anyone give away the game. And he's about to do it even more. Like, people I think the majority of people that are watching these interviews and podcasts, they're not even understanding what he's saying. I mean, this guy is legitimately playing 5D chess, but he's also telling you how he's doing it. This is unprecedented.
People at home with a brain need to sit and go, you know what? If they start the conversation and then abruptly stop the conversation, they're actually helping our conversation. Kanye helped because now he's supposedly spoke to someone, because he didn't speak to me, saying, that doesn't help anything. I've done my bit and I don't want that song played anymore. He has his reasons. I have my reasons to not go up there and be extreme. Now, I'm not going to kiss the wall. If they say kiss the wall or we'll kill you, then they're going to kill me. Because I'm a man and I have limits, right? Everyone in life has limits. It's like I wouldn't let robbers, my girlfriend, kill me. There's limits. I'm not going to kiss the fucking wall. I'm not going to fucking go there. I'm not going to start praising their government. Fuck them and fuck their government. Fuck all that. But there does get to a point where the risk reward just ain't there, right? Saying I'm doing 99% right, but there's this last 1% of extremism that definitely gets me killed.
I mean, I'm mind shook myself that he's giving away the game. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy, and nobody's paying attention. No, like, I haven't seen any clips of this interview being posted anywhere. I haven't seen any hoopla on the interwebs over this interview. He just gave away the game. He's not done yet. He's just starting here. But this is crazy. This is crazy. Welcome, Mr. 1-to-1.
100% death. And then you hold your daughter, who's 5 years old or whatever, and you're like, is this to please who? Sneaky? Fuck him. Right? So Kanye isn't happy about that song being played. Let's sit here as intelligent people and say, why would he not be happy about his song in a club? Maybe something happens behind the scenes, which means whoever's doing things behind the scenes has shadow power, perhaps. Anyone with a brain can see that. But of course, you know what most people will say? They'll say he sold out. They'll say he's a sellout.
If you've never played chess, it's hard to see if other people are playing it.
Absolutely. Most people, the reason, if there was a shadow cabal in charge of the world, the reason they get away with it is because people are fucking retards, bro. People are fucking retards. Anyone who thinks I sold out is a fucking retard.
Alex Jones has done a lot of things, but I'm not sure he's ever phrased something exactly like that.
Retard. And the worst thing about it is it only encourages you to sell out. It encourages you to sell out. It encourages you to take the money, enjoy your life, and let everyone else suffer. Let them stay broke, unknown, insignificant. Let them be controlled by the Matrix. Let them have a shit life. Go on my yacht and have a great time. That's what it convinces you to do.
I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but to give people context as well on why you're kind of denying involvement with the whole playing of the song, what's your current legal case in 2026?
Yeah, so my current legal situation is precarious. In Romania, the case against me is technically open. It was actually thrown out in December of 2023.
Am I the only one who sees what's going on here? I mean, Andrew Tate is intentionally dumbing himself down in all of these interviews. This is what I'm seeing from this interview, some of the other interviews. When he takes some of these pauses, it appears that he's intentionally dumbing down the response. And there's certain moments where he doesn't do that. Like when he quickly responds, he doesn't do these pauses, and it's just, just incredible insight into, like, how is he this much of a geopolitical and psychological expert? I mean, does anybody else find this weird? This guy got kicked in the head for 20 years, and he's a geopolitical, psychological and linguistics expert. I mean, can anybody name somebody who's more of an expert?
A judge ruled there was no evidence to take me to trial. So after all the imprisonment, all the house arrest, all the media slander,
Flat Bob, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Flat Bob. I'm not sure he thinks Charlie Kirk is real or that Trump is good in any way. He's saying what needs to be said.
the asset seizures. I couldn't see my mom when she had a heart attack. They tried to take my kids off me. After all of that, they said, oh, there's not enough evidence here for a trial. And they threw the case out. 2 months later, in February, I was given my passport. But I remain on bail, and the case remains open. Even though it was rejected, it was given back to the prosecutor. And they said, if you can find evidence or fix it, we'll take it to trial. So it sat on a prosecutor's desk for a year. God knows. But at any point, they can revoke my passport. So if I say something too extreme online, they can go in front of a judge and they can play it to the judge and say, look, he's an extremist. And they can revoke my passport. Not a lot of people understand that the European Union does not have free speech laws. Romania does not have free speech laws. All of the EU, they'll lock you up for a tweet. So if you sit on a video and say, we should gas all the Chinese, they can show a judge, take your passport instantly, and lock you in your house. And after 4 years in my house without trial, it seems they can do it indefinitely. It seems. Then the UK have a warrant out for my arrest, which will be executed when the Romanian case eventually closes. God knows when. Because supposedly I assaulted someone in 2009. Who? Dunno. Where? Dunno. When? Dunno. 2009 assault. Defend yourself. Okay, who? Can't tell you. Where? Can't tell you. When? Can't tell you. Well, how do I find these things out? Just come to England. Yeah, no. So that's that.
I mean, he's hilarious. Who else is going to be this cavalier and hilarious about their own cases and trials? I mean, okay, so the people that think this is all a setup and it's all fake. So there's a certain people theorizing that the Romanian government's not really after him. All the jail stuff is staged. Everything is staged. And he's just reading a script, etc. I'm not sure about that. But the way that he's able to poke fun at just the ludicrous nature of the situation and how mad the world is, it takes a certain amount of intelligence to be able to do that. Again, something seems inorganic about how smart this guy is in relation to him getting kicked in the head for 20 years. I mean, his vocabulary is off the charts. I mean, his critical thinking, deductive reasoning, geopolitical understanding of everything, basic psychology, advanced psychology, and even history, whether it's Rockefeller history or otherwise. And in terms of what he's saying that needs to be said, I think he's really unlike other people. Like, some people accuse Joe Rogan or Trump of playing 5D chess. I'm not sure they're smart enough. This guy might actually be smart enough to do it. So he might be spouting certain things about official narratives in order to set up other things so that he won't be dismissed. Because there is that, you can call it the Overton window within conspiracy. So there's the regular Overton window in society, everyday society. And then even among conspiracists, like, for example, hologram planes, 9/11, usually the Overton window doesn't move quite that far. So he understands that he has several different audiences, and his ability to play to those different audiences simultaneously is unlike anything I have ever seen.
Also, conveniently, very strange that Tristan also assaulted someone in 2009. So we both have the same warrant. Isn't that a convenient, isn't that a coincidence that we're just running around in 2009? No. They want to get the Tate brothers off the internet. It was actually the Romanian government cucking to the British in the first place that got us arrested. The British labeled us a national security threat in 2022 when I was the most Googled man in the world. They said that I was an unchecked source of influence, and that at the time I could have tweeted a time and a date and a place, and people would have turned up and rioted. And I had young men under my thrall, under my control so heavily that I was a threat to national security. And they wrote to the Romanians saying, he's a threat to national security, do something about it. And that was the basis of all my case. So it wasn't even the Romanians that were ever against me. They were just the executioner. They were the attack dog, but the attack dog was let go by the British. MI6 are who hit me, and they're still trying to get me. So I have a British warrant, and I have a Romanian warrant. In America, I have no problems, besides a nightclub video. But that's the current status of my legal cases. So, of course, very much like the Romanians can instantly revoke my bail and take my passport, if I said anything extreme against any particular group of people, that's hate speech, which is instantly 5 years in jail. Eventually, someday, I'm going to be in a British court. And they're going to play all of my podcasts back in front of a judge, because they always do. If I sit and say women can't drive, they're going to play it back. He's a misogynist. This podcast will be seen by judges and prosecutors. In fact, hello, future Andrew. I know you're standing there right now, smiling. I'm going to stand in court, and they're going to play this to me. So if I go on a podcast after a nightclub incident and start going, fucking kill everyone. I mean, I guess the internet expects me to just go to jail for a decade and just sit in a room by myself. What, for clout? Yeah, at least the guys on the internet like me. The guys on the internet will forget about me. They won't give a fuck.
It seems to me, Andrew, that after doing this podcast for a while, the one thing that people are not allowed to say is they're not allowed to incite violence in any way. Yeah. And that seems to be the thing that they're afraid of. Would you say that's mostly true?
I'd say that's mostly true, but unfortunately it's open-ended. So if you make a law saying you can't incite violence, they can interpret that any way possible, because you can now just insult someone and they can say that you're trying to dehumanize them or make people feel a certain way about them so that you do incite violence against them. So it's such an open-ended...
Is that why the song freaked you out particularly?
The song didn't even freak me out. The thing that's crazy is when the song came on, if you watch the stream, I didn't even give a fuck. I didn't run away. I didn't hide my face. I just stood there like, whatever. Like, even in my position, knowing the trouble it will get me in, I still bossed it. Right? Remember, if Sneaky was in my position, he would have killed himself by now. He wouldn't be able to take the pressure. He would have literally killed himself a long time ago if he had gone through a fraction of what I'd gone through. So I didn't run away, didn't punk out. I just stood there like, whatever. But if someone's going to say, you played the song. No, I didn't play the song. And I'm going to have it documented on video that I did not play the song. So that when I go to court and the prosecutor says he played the song, put him in jail, I'm going to say, no, I didn't. I always said I didn't. I've never played the song, so I don't need 5 years in jail. Your Honor. I'm not doing 5 years in jail for Sneaky, bro. Fuck him. He can do his own jail. I don't even like him. Nobody likes him.
I mean, I don't know if this is a bit or what, but just how he keeps milking it is hilarious.
Everyone I talk to about him says the same thing. His friends who he's with, no one likes that guy. And it's because he has this pattern of behavior, and it's not only me, he does it to everybody. So, yeah, I have a lot of guns aimed at my head, still to this day. And it's interesting considering I've never been convicted of any crime, and I actually never did anything wrong. We're in LA right now, right? We could walk out this door and drive for about 10 minutes in any direction and find a ketamine-fueled orgy. We could find women getting gangbanged. We could find dudes fucking each other. You could find people doing all sorts of insanity. None of them are being arrested. None.
I mean, does anybody else find this hilarious? I mean, it's funny because it's true, but also his delivery is funnier than I think any comedian I've ever heard.
None of them are being called sexual criminals. None of them are being targeted by the state. But I am. 2009. Assault. No, it's because I speak on the internet and I make young men stick up for themselves. And they know, they are very aware that they are trying to destroy Western society. They're trying to print as much money as possible so they can steal it. They're trying to bring in as many immigrants as possible to distract us so we fight against each other while they all escape on their life rafts. And they know that young men are the only ones who are going to stand up against them. And telling them to be strong and think for themselves is a national security threat. They're actually right. I'll admit my enemy is correct. Not so much now, but in 2022, I was a national security. I could have said burn down Westminster and it would have burnt down.
I mean, who else would say something like that? I mean, this is kind of weird. This is kind of weird.
And if you watch my videos and the way I talk on the internet and you knew I had that much power, any prudent, intelligent MI6 officer would conclude that I had to be stopped. So I'm not even mad at my enemy. I'm so logical. It's like the mafia. When the mafia put a hit on your boy and they kill him and you're like, it's business. I get it. I'm glad they didn't kill me. And maybe they will, but they could have. If I had been this powerful against Putin in Russia, I'd be dead. MBS in Saudi dead. Erdogan in Turkey dead. Xi in China dead. I'm lucky they just locked me up a little bit. But it's a game we have to play. There's power dynamics and all these things. Even the mafia respect the police. And the police respect the mafia. Watch the movies. They actually understand each other. They're like, you're on that side, I'm on this side. But it's war. And there's rules to war. And we get it. And you're going to do your bit, and I'm going to do my bit, and we're both going to try and win. But there's rules to a degree, and we actually have a healthy respect for each other. That's what it's like with people at the top against the system, against the matrix. That's what it's like for me. I understand why they do what they do. I don't hate them, and they don't hate me. A wolf doesn't hate a rabbit, but there's guaranteed to be violence between the two. It's just human nature. If two lions see each other, they may not hate each other, but look, there's a certain amount of territory here. There's a certain amount of mind space in the cerebrum of young men in the Western society, and you're taking too much territory. You've taken too much land. So now we're going to fight over this land. It's not personal. This is just territorial dispute. It's how it goes.
I mean, can anybody think of a single individual who has the ability to explain this so eloquently? I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm doubting this ability is organic. I am just severely doubting this.
Between gangs is the same. People at the bottom don't understand these things. I know why they hit me, and I think that they were correct to hit me. Not because I've done anything wrong, not because I was going to do anything wrong, but based on a completely pragmatic, emotionless analysis of the situation at the time. If I was the MI6 officer watching Andrew Tate scream the way I scream on videos, saying the things I say, understanding the power I had, I would not be a very good MI6 officer unless I said, let's construct a case and put him in a fucking cell.
I do want to speak to that specific point you made more, but I do want to ask, as far as the accusations go of some of the women, do any of these particularly sting you? Like, are there any that you're surprised about?
No, it's all made up. It's all made up. There's very few actual genuine accusations. And because I'm a misogynist, may as well admit it because they keep calling me one, I don't expect, I mean, how much loyalty can I expect from a woman? Once again, I'm pragmatic. Many people, when they're in a position, because they want it to be different, they're very emotional about it. That's not me. I'm a full-grown man, so I'm approaching this, removing my personal feelings from it. A girl is approached by federal agencies, a girl who I knew 12 years ago.
I mean, who makes fun of their own position? I mean, just the sarcasm, the satire infused in his language. I mean, I don't think... I've listened to quite a bit of Alex Jones. I can't recall him ever doing it. I can't recall David Icke ever doing it. I can't recall Bill Cooper ever doing it. And Serge Monas just doesn't have enough material, but I don't recall him doing it either. Welcome, Sphinx Bear. Where have you been? When was the last time you were on a stream, Sphinx Bear? Might have been a while. DeWitt Straight Laces says his self-promoting acumen is not lacking.
She's now moved on, and she has a new man. Her new man doesn't know I fucked her left and right all over the place. She has kids. She has a simple but fairly happy little life. She's not even attractive anymore. She's a bit fat, smokes too many cigarettes, whatever. She finally gets dragged into a room with federal operatives. And they're like, we know you used to know Andrew Tate. And she's like, shit, I don't even want anyone to know this. Yeah, so he's a bad guy. Well, he was good to me. No, he's not good to you. He hurts people. Well, he didn't hurt me. Are you defending him? Well, I'm just saying he didn't hurt me. Okay, but we need to understand who's defending him and who isn't. Well, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying he didn't hurt me. Okay, because you know there's going to be a public trial coming up. And if you're defending him, over 6 hours, they pressure this person into eventually saying, yes, he yelled at me. Assault 2009. Whatever. Give me the pen. Because Andrew's rich and famous. He doesn't give me any money. Andrew's forgotten about me. I tried to text him 100 times. He doesn't reply. Why am I going to defend Andrew and lose my husband? Why am I going to ruin my relationship?
I mean, does anybody else find Tate's knowledge of just, not just how corrupt the system is, but how the human psychology of reacting to corrupt systems? Does anybody else think it's weird? Does anybody else think this guy knows too much and he's just a little too good? Just a little too good at, well, with the eloquence of which he elucidates these thoughts. Sphinx Spirit says, speaking of Ike, you see him crashing out that nobody has given him credit? No, I haven't. I'm going to have to check that out.
Why am I wasting my day with the police? Why am I going through any of this for Andrew? He doesn't even remember who the fuck I am. Andrew slept with thousands of women. He doesn't even know who I am anymore. Just give me the piece of paper. Just sign. Logically, me as a man, can I really expect her as some random chick to sit there and go, no, I stand on my principles. Andrew never hurt me. No, of course not. This is the real world. Your friends will sell you out, bro. You can go to a fucking club with some nobody and be nice to him to give him clicks for his fucking shit streams and he'll sell you out. Let alone some bitch you fucked 10 years ago. So am I sad that some silly bimbo got convinced by world-level psychologists and federal agencies to lie? Truthfully, it's like, well, duh. It's like being sad about the rain. It's like, I don't want it to rain, but it rains, and now I'm wet.
You know, I had a Russian sex spy, a former, on the podcast, and I was asking her, like, did you ever have to get rid of a woman so you could approach a target? She was like, oh yeah, it's the easiest part of it.
Yeah.
You just go to a bar with her, and then you take a photo of her and send it to the guy, or you just give her money. She said that's the easiest part of the job by far.
Yeah.
So it just speaks to the fact that it's fairly easy to compromise someone.
Women are not physically strong. And when you're not physically strong, that reflects your mentality. You're not prepared to sit there and argue with big, strong men with guns when you know you're physically weak to defend somebody you no longer speak to.
Also applies to all the soy goofs. All the soy goofs out there. Lord Zed, your theories about something separate. Do you have any Andrew Tate theories? Because that's what we're going over right now. Sphinx Bear says the things he's been talking about for decades are becoming mainstream and he's just still in the background. Would be tough, but I gotta keep the ego in check. Yeah, I mean, Ike is definitely an OG. Like, I listed them at the beginning. You got Serge Monast. You got Bill Cooper and David Icke. I mean, Phil Schneider, shout out, but I mean, he really, I mean, I don't know, if you're gonna make a Mount Rushmore of the OGs, you'd go Serge Monast, Bill Cooper, David Icke, Alex Jones. If there was a secondary, you know, honorable mention, Phil Schneider, sure. One or two others. But yeah, I mean, Ike is an OG. I don't think anybody can argue that.
It's just, women are weak, and you can just bend them into things. You can force them into things. You're the fucking cops, bro. You can put people in jail. You think you can't get some chick in there and scare her? Of course you can. And I don't expect any of these women to be strong enough to tell them to get fucked. Now, some women did. Some women called me up and goes, I was just with the police for 8 hours, and for 8 hours I told them to fuck off. And I was like, well, you're a legend. But most women aren't going to do that. Some women do. But that's why it's a numbers game. They call 1,000 women. They only need one. I mean, if you call 1,000 women and ask who is an angel, literally, do you believe you're an angel from heaven, or do you believe you were born from your mother? Think about it for a day. I'll call you back tomorrow. If you call 1,000, one of them will go, you know what? I've actually been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about my experiences in life. And you know what? Maybe I am an angel.
Oh, man. And you know what's really crazy, though? I mean, who hasn't known someone in their life that isn't susceptible to something like that?
Literally. You could find a woman, if you call 1,000 of them, to admit she's a fucking fruit salad, bruv. Anything. So all you have to do is get one of them to what? Not get one of them to break in an 8-hour interrogation? This is why the police do it, because they know they get what they want. They always get what they want. They could do it to you. The second you piss them off, they just get a list of chicks and lean on them and get what they want. Everyone knows this. They did it with Trump. To our president, they found E. Jean Carroll, a psycho who admits, I don't remember the rape, but I remember being raped.
Okay, I'm not laughing about this type of crime, but the ludicrous nature of the Carroll situation. I mean, they really couldn't find anybody better. Look at this tweet. I always bring this up. How can you justify this tweet from her back in 2012? Too many good TV shows on Sunday night. What do you watch? I'm a massive Apprentice fan. Massive. Like, how do you rectify this kind of tweet? What did Tate miss on, though? I mean, I haven't listened to everything. I was really impressed with his last 2 or 3 interviews. More so than usual. Because he's usually catering to, you know, obviously he wants clicks and stuff. Like, he knows his audiences, but he's kind of stepped it up to a whole nother level recently.
What the fuck are we talking about? Convicted him? Started calling him a felon? Like, on what planet are we? We all know that's bullshit. But they still do it. And people still sit there and go, oh my God, he's accused of... Fucking clown show.
Everyone has an accusation except for Nick Fuentes, and he's a virgin, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the reasons, probably the only reason Nick is still on the internet is because he avoids women. Because if he had had a sexual history by now, they would have caught him. Nick's problem is that you get 3 lives. The first life is to cancel you. They've already canceled him. But now he's kind of back. So he did good. But they canceled me and I came back. I invented coming back from cancellation. I was the first motherfucker to ever get canceled and get bigger. First one. Nick got canceled, didn't get bigger. He disappeared for a long time. I got canceled and got bigger. Realest nigger alive. I invented that.
I would actually say it was Alex Jones. Alex Jones is deplatforming because there were people who didn't know who Alex Jones was pre-deplatforming.
Second, they try and put you in jail. Third, they kill you. The problem that Nick has, and I actually really like Nick, is that if his taxes are in order and he ain't touching women, they haven't got much they can get him with on stage 2. And that doesn't mean they let you off. That means they skip stage 2 and they just kill you. Let's talk about Charlie Kirk. Why did they not just put him in jail? Because no one's going to believe Trump's DOJ prosecuting Charlie Kirk. Doesn't make sense. He's Trump's friend. Why would the Department of Justice try and prosecute Charlie Kirk? He's squeaky clean. Taxes paid. He's not like me. I made it easy for them. He's fucked 1,000 women. Call him up. Get him. Right? He ain't fucked 1,000 bitches. He ain't running around fucking with all these girlfriends like me. They went through his life. How are we going to get him in jail? How are we going to get him in jail? How are we going to get him in jail? You know what? There's literally nothing here. Next. Bang. I'm lucky with me. I gave them the layup. If I had lived squeaky clean like a dummy, if I had done everything right, they would have just killed me. But instead, they're like, we have to fix this Andrew Tate problem. Killing people is messy, and it makes them a martyr. It can make them bigger. And even as a government, killing someone in another country, even the Brits killing someone in Romania, I know how this stuff works. Trust me. They have to speak to the Romanian government. They have to try and clear it all. They have to understand their agent might get arrested.
Wait, how does he know how this stuff works? Trust me. What? Like, how does he have this deep insider knowledge of all of this?
Then there's an international incident to get him out. Even the Russians, when they killed that guy in Germany, you can look it up. He got arrested. He was in jail for 3 years before Putin could swap him. The governments, when it...
Anybody else find it weird on how casual and quickly he brings up all of these examples? Like, he really does remind me of Alex Jones. I mean, how much does this guy actually know?
comes to personal assassinations outside of drone strikes in third world countries, even they don't like to really do it. Macron could kill Candace, but even he is like on American soil, an American citizen. It's still a big deal for a government. So when they said, let's get rid of Andrew Tate, our options are to kill him or put him in jail. Well, let's see how we can put him in jail. And they looked for 10 seconds. They're like, oh, fucking hell. He's a fucking treasure trove. He was a fucking fighter. He sold weed when he was 18. He's fucked every girl he fucking could. He was running around drunk. He fucking drove cars too fast. Fuck this guy. Just fucking get him. I gave it to him on a plate. I'm not stupid. I know I did. Of course I gave it to him on a plate. I fucked everyone. So Nick's problem is he hasn't given it to him on a plate. Because people talk about my human trafficking accusations. You can look it up right now. The British government took 3.2 million pounds of my money for tax evasion, too. So they got me for that. They get me for this. So it's like, just fucking get him. And I just keep giving it to him, laying it up. I'm a dumbass. So, but it saved me, or I would be dead. Nick's problem, and I really care about Nick, is that it's almost like, I have lots of businesses. And I have a restaurant. And in my restaurant, I let my staff steal a little. Because if I let them steal none, they quit. And if I let them steal too much, I don't make any money. So I make sure that I allow them to steal enough so that they feel happy to go to work and they think they're winning. But I am also on it enough to stop them stealing so much I don't make profit. Like, you have to give you have to give a little.
Who understands what he just did? Like, he just gave away the game again. He just described how governments keep, the peasants in line. Sphinx Bear says, most people aren't paying attention to these minor details, Bruce, so he can and has for years just casually said stuff. No, but how does he know all of that? And the fact that he can keep it all in mind simultaneously. See, Alex Jones admits to having sources. If he's not, well, regardless of whether he's a shill or not, he's getting information delivered to him. Who's delivering information to Tate?
If you're too strict, it gets worse. And I gave the enemy the second strike, and Nick didn't, or he hasn't, or he won't, or he can't. And Charlie didn't, and we look what happened to him. So I'm worried about Nick. I'm actually genuinely worried about Nick. And I think that Nick is smart enough also to worry about himself.
Why do you think Charlie Kirk was assassinated? Do you think it was because of feminism?
Let's talk as professionals here. Sorry for the pause. I'm just scanning what's going to keep me alive. So I know who killed him.
So the other interesting thing here, is it just me, or is Tate's extreme honesty what is separating him from others? See, if you're acting and being dishonest, you always have to cover it up. But if you're just literally spouting whatever's on your mind at all times, is that what's happening here? And and having a high enough intellect to turn it into a joke, to use humor with it.
And the only person who is overtly giving theories as to who killed him publicly is Candace. The reason Candace is breathing is because she is a woman and because she is black. And the people in charge have thought, they've concluded, you know what? Let a black woman scream. Most people will, even if they listen to her, it's a black chick and we're just going to let her scream into the air and we'll just put it down to black female hysterical actions. We'll just put it down to that.
You think that's it?
Yeah. We'll get some bots on Twitter and we'll get everyone to call her crazy and we'll pretend she's hysterical and we'll push all of this narrative that she's nuts with some paid influencers and we're going to get everyone to call her crazy, even if she's right on the fucking, even if she gets it perfectly right.
See, you won't hear Alex Jones saying something like that, will ya? Will you? Will you? I just find it weird. And I think Alex Jones actually did, not only did he praise Tate, but wasn't Alex Jones the one who was trying to get Joe Rogan to get Tate on Joe Rogan's podcast? This interview is from a month ago, or 2 months ago. It's pretty new. It's from 2026. Sometime in 2026. Yeah, Alex Jones was trying to get Joe Rogan to have Andrew Tate on the podcast in 2019. But for whatever reason, Joe Rogan didn't. I don't know if his handlers wouldn't allow it, but Joe Rogan has spoken positively of Tate.
Even in one of her episodes, if she describes it perfect, we're just going to convince everyone she's nuts because she's a black chick and we can convince people that she's just hysterical, like the Walmart ran out of fucking cocoa butter and she's mad. So let's just do that. If you're a man in a sharp suit like yours, or if I put a suit on and I sit there and I break it down in a very logical, there still is that degree of misogyny in the world, where a man is taken a little bit more seriously with some things. And then if you get it directly on the money with a different tone, and they can't really call you crazy, if you don't give them the second life, if you don't give them an easy layup, well, then you pay the price. That's the first thing to analyze. Now let's analyze a couple other things. It's not my job to say who killed Charlie. It's the job of our agencies, which we subsidize with our taxes, our tax money, to convince me that they know who killed Charlie. Not just to say who killed Charlie, but it is your job to convince me that what you are saying is the truth. The Magna Carta says, not only will justice be done, justice must seem to be done. That is the basis of Western law. Not only do we operate from a place of justice, but people at home see and experience the justice. I am giving millions or billions of dollars, or the American public are giving billions of dollars to agencies whose job it is to find out what happened, tell us what happened, and punish the person who did it. Now, if nobody believes their story, that is very detrimental to the faith in public institutions, and it is the faith in public institutions which keep a democracy functioning. We believe in elections because we believe they're fair. We go to court because we believe it's fair. Otherwise, it breaks down into Mogadishu. Otherwise, it's AK-47s and machetes.
Again, has anybody else seen a politician speak this intelligently and eloquently on any subject? I mean, this guy would probably be the best politician ever. It's almost like he was engineered for this. And I also do have, I went over this on one of the lives, that Mustache Man from Germany also had some MI6 connections. But Andrew Tate seems to know a whole lot about MI6 and all these other things. Pretty weird. Pretty weird. But, yeah, I mean, this is a really long interview, so we're going to continue examining this, and there's a couple others I wanted to go over, but, yeah, I just found it really mind-shocking, so of course I had to go over it, because, he's given up the game. He's giving up the game and exactly how it's played, and he's a little too good at it. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. This guy is just too good at it. Is it natural to be this good at it? Call me crazy? I think he actually might be better than Alex Jones in certain respects. Not in the thespianism, but in almost everything else, he might actually surpass Mr. Jones himself. But thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Plenty more to come. Plenty more logical analyses to come. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Check the link in the description. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.